In this video, I'm going to share with you 9 overlooked steps to successfully selling information products online for you, the health and fitness professional. Hey guys, how's it going? Uriel Kame here from healthburnergroup.com and welcome to HPTV. Okay, anyways. So today we're going to be looking at 9 really important steps that a lot of people overlook, at least some of these that are definitely overlooked when it comes to selling an information product online. Now, what I'm going to say here is that this is different than online training. If you're personal training clients online and developing programs for them, and you're still coaching them kind of one-on-one online, that's a different thing, okay? We're talking about developing a course, an ebook, a video series, whatever it is, some type of product that you create it and then it's kind of done. People can download it even when you're sleeping and you don't have to be involved in that, okay? That's what we're talking about. And that's kind of been my bread and butter for the past 11 years online. We've developed hundreds of products from cookbooks. I've actually published 3 books, but then we have, a lot of online cookbooks, workout programs, nutrition courses, follow along, interval workouts, all sorts of stuff, okay? So I'm going to walk you through 9 steps that I wish I had way back in the day because I made a lot of mistakes and created a lot of products that people didn't care about and thus they didn't sell. Now, this is going to be a slightly lengthier video, so if you'd like more kind of granular thinking about this stuff, I'd recommend you click on the link on this video or below and it'll take you over to download my idea filter. Now, this is a 2-page worksheet that I developed out of the necessity to give you clarity and insight as to which product ideas and business opportunities are actually worth pursuing. Because the last thing you want to do is be like, yeah, I've got a great idea and create it and nobody cares about it. All right. So download that. It's going to be a lifesaver and you can use it forever. It's amazing. Okay. Now let's jump into these 9 overlooked steps. Now, the first one, most important one, is you have to identify your who. Actually, before we start, you may want to get a pen, paper, iPad, whatever, just jot some stuff down. Jot these notes down. Okay. The first is the who. Who are you serving? Who is this for? Who's the audience, right? Who's the target market? The single target market for this thing. Who is that? Identify that, okay? The second thing is what? What is their major pain point that this product or solution is going to solve? Okay, those very, very important, those 2 first questions, and most people don't even think about that. Third is research, and I say research the competition here, because what you want to do is in the health, fitness, wellness space, as you know, there's a lot of people, right? So what you want to do is do a bit of basic research, and what you can do, and I'll give you a couple of resources in a moment, is you want to look at what are other people selling, what are their what's the offer, what are the people getting, and you want to have a good idea of how you can start to position and think about your product a little bit differently than what's already out there. So a great place to look for this type of stuff when it comes to information products is clickbank.com. We actually sell a lot of our stuff on ClickBank. It's a terrific marketplace because you put it up there. It's very easy for people to find your products, assuming people are promoting them. And you can actually have affiliates you don't even know start promoting your information products. And it's pretty cool. So what clickbank.com will allow you to do is you can actually search under the health and fitness category. And you can just go through either by a keyword search or just by the ranking of top, second, third, fourth, all the way down. And look at what are the top selling products. What do they all have in common? What does the marketing look like? And that's important to know because most people will tell you copy what they're doing. And yes, there's a degree to copy what's working, but I'm going to tell you that when you start doing that, it's a very tough sell to make that work and stand out in a very crowded marketplace when everyone else is doing the exact same thing. So what you may want to consider doing is emulating, not copying, modeling what's working, but add your own twist to it to make it unique. And that can be in the form of the product itself. It can be the way you market it. But you have to understand the fundamentals of, obviously, influence and persuasion as well. And I say that in a very positive manner. I'm not saying like, you're hypnotizing people into doing crazy things they shouldn't be doing, okay? But research is important. You have to know what's out there. How are people positioning their stuff? And think about how you can make yours different. Because the fourth big thing, this is where the next two things, the 4 and 5, are massively important, as are all these steps. So number 4, the fourth step is to come up with your big idea, your big promise, and or your mechanism. Okay, so the big idea is what's the one kind of global theme about this product. So as an example, I'll give you one of our products, all-day fat burning workouts. So the big idea there is that these workouts in less than 30 minutes, 3 times a week, help you burn fat 24/7. And we do that through the mechanism called the slow fast method. And the slow fast, if I can speak, the slow fast, say that 5 times fast, slow fast method, The slow fast method is a mechanism, a unique method I coined myself, which essentially represents the tempo of the training that they're going to be using in the workout. So it's really important to spend some time on this, because you can think about this as the hook if you want, but the mechanism is very important, because in a very crowded marketplace where people have been exposed to dozens, hundreds, thousands of similar products promising the same thing, they're going to be asking themselves in their head, why is this different? How is this different? How does this work differently than the next thing that I used, right? So what's going to help separate your product is, in large part, the mechanism. Okay, so think about mechanism as your unique method, your process, your secret sauce, your recipe to helping your customer achieve their results, right? The bridge between the two is your mechanism. Give it a name, because that is going to help it just becomes more valid that way, right? So as an example, if you're helping people lose weight by working out, so what? So is everyone else, right? But what is your mechanism? Let's look at P90X. Their mechanism, muscle confusion, right? That's not new to us health and fitness professionals, right? It's, we're basically saying train differently so your muscles don't plateau and get used to the same workout over time. They just gave it a name, and they included a cool little graph to show how this works. If you look at a lot of these dandruff commercials or hair product commercials, they use these really interesting and very clever graphics to show how when you use the shampoo, it coats the hair follicle, not that I would know, it coats the hair follicle and takes it from fraying to beautiful and glowing. That's fabricated. But what they're showing there is their mechanism for how the product works. And it adds believability to your offer. All right? So that's number 4. The 5th step is, this is going to save you big time. Okay? Is write your sales copy or create the marketing before you even created the product. Don't create the product yet. This is where you're going to sit down and you're going to write out the bullets, like the benefit bullets or the feature bullets, what's in the product, what they get. And what that's going to do, right? So the headline, sales copy, and the basic formula is basically something to the effect of, it can be a story. Here's where I was before. I use this, and here I am now, right? So it's kind of like, before I was, 400 pounds, and I used this thing, and I did it for a couple weeks, and now I'm like 150 pounds. And then that's one way you can use story to introduce your product. Another way you can introduce the product from a sales copy perspective is basically problem agitation solution. So problem is like, let's use the example of food for a second. So you want to lose weight without giving up your favorite recipes, right? Or your favorite foods. And I get it, man. That really sucks, because there's nothing worse than going on a diet and then feeling deprived and starving yourself, and then going by, the restaurants and looking in the window and people are eating their favorite foods and you're like biting your nails because you're so nervous and anxious. So what I'm doing is I'm digging the knife and I'm agitating the problem, and then you present the solution. But what if there were a way where you could actually lose weight and enjoy your favorite foods by eating the right foods at the right time and lose weight effortlessly without depriving yourself? Wouldn't that be cool? So that's kind of how you would segue into your product. So again, I'm not going to give you a whole copywriting lecture here, but think about problem, agitation, solution as a simple framework, or here's where I was before, I use this, and here's where I am now. Okay? Really simple story type of scenario. So write your copy, create your marketing before you create the product, because what that's going to do is it's going to force you to make your products match your marketing. It's very tough to come up with great marketing after the product's been created if the product is, create something that's going to be compelling for people and then create the product. Okay? It's going to save you a lot of frustration. All right, so now that you've created the marketing, you've created the sales page or the general message for it, now you can sit down or workout or whatever you're going to do and create the actual product. So you're going to create the cookbook, you're going to create the workouts, you're going to create the course, whatever it might be. Now you're going to put in the time to actually create the product. Now there's a lot of people that teach just like whip it up over the weekend and get it out there. And in some cases that can be very valid if it's a simple product, that doesn't require a lot of time and effort and so forth. But if it's something you want to be a little bit more substantial, it's going to take you a little bit more than a weekend, right? So maybe it might be a better idea to start off with something relatively small and easy to execute. You can get it out into the marketplace and just kind of get your toes wet, right? Get a feel for what it's like to go through this process. So that's the creation of the product. Now, the seventh step is to, once you've created the marketing, the sales copy, the offer, you have the big idea nailed down, you know who you're speaking to, you know what the problem is, you've done the research. Now, you want to focus on starting to think about how am I going to get this out to the masses? What does the distribution look like? And this is where the overwhelm starts to kick in. Do I do Facebook? Do I do Instagram? Do I do Twitter? Do I do Facebook ads? Do I do YouTube? Do I do, Okay, so what I'm going to suggest to you is pick one channel. Pick one marketing channel and master that. I think the simplest and the quickest way to have a return on your investment and see money coming in the bank is to actually run Facebook ads. It's a fairly easy platform to understand. And if you can't understand it, have somebody else maybe manage it for you in exchange for a percentage of the revenue. That's probably the easiest because you can go from having 0 pages of content on a website. You don't even have to have a website. You could have 1 page as your offer and then maybe a content page as a page that people would go to before the offer. And without even having hundreds of pages of blog content, you could run a Facebook ad to the pre-sale page, to like an article page. And then from that article page, they would go to the offer page where your product is. If that's all you did and you learned and you kind of said, I'm going to do whatever I can to make this profitable where I can spend $1 and make 2 so that eventually you can spend $10,000 and make $20,000, right? As an example, that is going to be the biggest needle mover quickly-ish for you. Because the other alternatives are that you start to look at developing great content, which you absolutely should, to really position yourself in the marketplace. But that's more of a long-term strategy, right? That's not going to give you like overnight, cash in the bank customers. Over time, that's going to help you build an amazing brand that's going to build massive authority and you become the leader in the marketplace, while the person who's just focused on that Facebook ad and that 1 page is going to be kind of like hiding behind the doors and kind of doing their thing. But I think initially, Facebook ads are a really, really simple way to do things. You can create a video ad, you can do a text ad, an image ad, direct it to an article page, right, where you're providing content and value, and then lead them into the offer from there. Because going from an ad where nobody knows you to, hey, buy my thing, it's not going to work. Remember, these are cold prospects. They don't know you. What you want to do is you want to provide value that is going to make them think, wow, this person's actually really good and this is helping solve my problem. Let me check out what he has to offer or what she has to offer. Okay? So that is pick one marketing channel, nail it, dial it in. You don't even have to go to 2. You can just master Facebook ads and you can have a multi-million dollar business just doing that. Right? If you start to spread yourself too thin, you're going to run into overwhelm and all sorts of stuff that's not going to support you. Again, I'm sharing this with you because I've gone down this path. I've made these mistakes. Obviously we've kind of figured some things out as well, and we've had a lot of success. Okay. So, number 8, it kind of ties in with the one marketing channel, is you want to develop marketing assets. Most people have 1 sales page for a product. Well, what if you saw that product and you didn't buy it? Would you direct them back to that same page every single time? Well, wouldn't it make more sense if you had maybe 2 or 3 variations of that offer page to offer people based on where they are in your sales cycle. So if they saw the page the first time, maybe they would see the whole shebang, right? If they didn't buy and somehow either via email or let's say a retargeting ad, you sent them to the offer again, maybe they landed on a page that was something to the effect of, hey, you saw the offer, just thought you may want to know this as well. So like a different angle, more condensed, a little bit more to the point. And maybe the third time, it's just maybe some objection overcoming. Hey, listen, we understand that you're tight on time and you think these workouts are going to take forever. Well, here's what other people had to say. And maybe it's social proof, overcoming objections, add to cart. So that's something to think about. Very few businesses do that because it takes a little bit of time. But that's one way you can look at it. You can also look at creating a video sales letter as well as a text page. Maybe you have a webinar, right? So these are what I call different marketing assets. If your product is in the middle, think about it like an octopus. All the legs, the tentacles of the octopus are your different marketing assets, your video sales letter, your text sales page, your webinar, right? Examples like that. You don't have to do them all at once. Start with one and then build them out over time. Step 9, our final step, is to identify and monitor key metrics. Now, when you're selling a product, obviously you're gonna want to know what is the conversion rate of people who land on the page to people who buy the product. You're also going to want to know what is the average cart value. What is so for instance, if somebody buys a $50 product and there's nothing after that, then the average cart value or the maximum average cart value is $50, okay, for that one customer. However, if you were able to add a couple upgrades after the purchase, so maybe they said, listen, you bought this thing and we thought you might enjoy this as well for an extra $10, for an extra $20. Now you've increased the value of your cart to, let's say, $70. So what you want to do is you want to look at as the customers come in, and here's the revenue that's coming in, what is the average cart value? Because as that grows, what that's going to allow you to do is spend more money, for instance, to acquire a customer. You can spend more money on ads, which is good because then you're going to basically blow the competition out of the water, and you'll be able to run more ads profitably because you know your lifetime value or the average cart value of that specific funnel. Now, again, I don't want to go too granular here and overwhelm you with metrics, but just understand you want to find the 1, 2, or 3 key numbers that are going to help you identify if this product funnel is working for you. If you're running ads, the basic metric you want to look at is ROI. How much are we making in comparison to how much are we spending, right? Are we spending $5 and making $1? Maybe that's not working out. If we're spending $1 making $5, crank it up. All right. So there we have it, the 9 often overlooked steps to successfully selling information products online. I didn't talk about, going back to the One Marketing channel, one of the things that a lot of people talk about is getting affiliates to promote your stuff. That is one avenue to, making money and selling your stuff. But again, I believe that it fosters a little bit of laziness sometimes. So I believe that if you can acquire your own customers through your own means before going out to affiliates, you're going to be in a much stronger position because you're going to have tested a lot more with your own money first, and then you'll have more confidence to go out to other partners and say, listen, we've tested this and we know this works. So that's something I want you to think about as well, because there's not one business model that fits everyone. You don't have to do the affiliate thing. You don't have to do Facebook ads. You don't have to do YouTube. You want to find the one thing that's going to work for you and really master that. Okay? There's, again, 1,000 ways to Mecca. You don't just have to do one thing, right? People are doing great using Instagram. People are doing amazing on YouTube. People are crushing using Facebook ads. Pick your one thing, master that, and you'll be fine. Cool? So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, remember to head back to healthprenneurgroup.com. Right there on the page, you can download the 2-page idea filter, and that'll help you go a little bit more deep on this stuff to figure out, is this worthwhile pursuing or is it a waste of time? And this will save you a lot of time and frustration, because if you go through all this stuff and it's still something that's not worthwhile, and you create this product and it doesn't sell, that's a lot of wasted time, energy, and resources. So this 2-page idea filter, it's going to take you anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to fill out. It's going to clarify your thinking, and when you have clarity and confidence, you can move in the right direction. So download it today. It's amazing. And thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the future episodes. I'm Yuri Elkaim, and I'll see you in our next episode of HPTV. See you then.